Okay, Dreamer, please.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be checking out Varion T15 Raid. To me, Varion is slightly less difficult than Gigantus and Dunfrost. Okay, so the team I'll be using will consist of a DPS, a damage dealer I mean, Karin, Henry and Rudy, rare Rudy because I don't have Rudy Plus. Okay, for Rudy he's currently on the defense set, for Henry skill up. For the damage dealer, you can either go with attack or crit damage, crit rate I mean, and then for current skill cooldown. Okay, and of course I have some immortal rings and some revive rings on me because just for safety purposes. Okay, and if you have any of those, I think the most important one is to give Rudy the immortal ring. Okay, because he is your frontliner, he's gonna tank some damage, and rare Rudy cannot tank that well. Okay, so if you do have an immortal ring, give it to Rudy, and then the rest should go on Karin. The other two doesn't really matter because Karin will be the one reviving. Okay, so when we hit in, the first thing you need to do is manually cast Rudy's shield, okay? Because otherwise he will use his attack skill first. You have to cast the shield manually first so that he can tank the first few basic attacks from Varion. Okay, Varion may actually cast that Deadly Impact on the side, or he may charge at your Rudy straight up. Okay, so it depends on how he starts the round with. After that, he'll likely cast the purple circles that's gonna suck you in, and then he'll cast this CrissCross Mayhem, which you can actually hide. There are spaces, empty spaces available. Okay, then he will. Okay, it's a little complicated, so I'll explain this later on when he does it again. Okay, but after this, he tends to use some basic attacks, which involves pulling your heroes together or also paralyzing them. Thankfully, he did suppress early on, so you may, of course, meet different kind of RNG in your runs. Sometimes he may not use ultimate that early, sometimes he may use it this early. Okay, and if he does do it this early, then I think there's a potential that it will be a good run. After that, immediately after his suppression, he will cast the purple circles again, so you have to avoid the middle section and the sides as far as possible. Try to play Varion in the extreme ends of the map. Okay, thereafter he will do illusion charge after a few basic attacks as well, and of course stay clear of the path. Don't even go into the path after he flies away. And of course for Deadly Impact, always avoid it. Okay, run out of the entire circumference. Try to pilot Rudy such that he is away from the rest, so that in case Varion does do any pulling basic attacks or AoEs, you can see that my other team members clearly evaded it because they are a distance away. If he uses illusion charge, you can actually run alongside him, okay, to his new area and attack him from there. Otherwise, you can just wait it out and he will come back to you actually. So yeah, like he did, he flew back to me. Of course, that involves some wasted time as well, so you can actually go to where he will newly be. To be honest, I don't really have a fixed pattern of his attacks, but I do recognize from the body behavior of Varion. So when he starts to float, it's either the circles or the CrissCross. So with the CrissCross, he tends to also do these straight lines that are going vertically across the field, and he will also target your Rudy, okay, and cast AoEs on him, so you have to run. But I feel that Varion is definitely more predictable in terms of his skills, okay, and there are certain areas of the map that it's very clear you need to avoid, especially the sides. So most of the battle, as you can see, is taken place at the extreme ends only. So here he will cast the circles. There's a chance he may rise again and cast the CrissCross, which in this case he doesn't. And he only does basic attacks on my Rudy. So with illusion charge, try not to go in front of him, okay? Always follow at the back of his trail so that you will not be hit.
Out of my way, amateur!
So this is the second ultimate he's using.
Your attacks haven't changed at all.
It is less intense to me compared to Varion, Gigantus and Danfrost. Okay, so here it will be the purple circles as I mentioned. After the suppression, he tends to do this. He is not going to cast the CrissCross. Yeah, so he goes back to Illusion Charge. The large AoEs tend not to do that much damage, so you don't have to worry too much. Okay, here will be the circles. He's not doing the CrissCross again. Okay, yeah, so I think it was a very fortunate run because he didn't repeat the CrissCross. Let me just go back to the CrissCross scene and explain to you how you can avoid. Okay, so with this part, okay, after he casts the circles, he will start to rise again, like in this case. Okay, so once he starts to rise, you need to be mentally prepared that the CrissCross are coming, and you can run immediately to the middle section, which is going to be empty for sure. Okay, so this is some preparation you can do. At the middle section, just get ready to run downwards because he's going to cast an AoE on your Rudy immediately. So your only safe region is downwards because the straight lines are going to be coming for you already here, right here. He will cast a second AoE on your Rudy, so you can only go upwards again in this case to the other empty area. And then he will cast a charge skill, straight line charge skill directly at your team from wherever he is. Okay, so this will come after 2 AoEs. Just remember that, otherwise you may die. Okay, and these are some of the fails that I encountered. Most of the fails, okay, like in this case, even though his illusion charge is over, if you run into the area that he flew by, he will still die, so just take note of that. Most of the fails and retries were actually out of angst. I just felt that I could do better, so I just quit, even though my hero still survived on the Immortal. And another reason is that I didn't want the Immortal to be procced this early in the matches, in the rounds. So most of the time when they procced really early, I felt I was at a huge disadvantage, and I just decided to restart anyway. Okay, and there are also times when you feel that, you know, you can outrun the damage, but not really, not at all. So try to run as soon as you can. Okay. And for your Masteries, I would strongly suggest defensive Masteries because Rudy is going to take a lot of damage, especially if you are using the rare Rudy. Okay, if you're using the rare plus Rudy, then I think you have an advantage right there. So you may be taking less damage overall across your whole team. But for those using rare Rudy, try to use defensive Masteries, especially on level 15, level 95, to reduce the damage you take, and you can survive longer with that. The Divinity maxed out on page 1, okay, there's actually Paralyzed Resistance on page 2, you can actually use that to your advantage as well if you have maxed it out. For page 1, of course, focus on the red ones, green ones, then the blue ones. For hero potentials, Cossack is maxed out on attack, as with all your damage dealers. Okay, you can actually use Miss Velvet here, Chris, Rachel, or Dylan's, all are fine. Karin is on max defense and HP. For Henry, he is on 333. Okay, that explains his a little weaker on that side. For Rudy, I actually gave him more defense and HP. I didn't max out the second tier, so he's kind of almost there. Okay, but these are his defense and HP potentials, which you can also build on your Rudy, rare Rudy, in order to tank the hits. So I hope this video helped, and if it did, do give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Big shout out to my channel members. Christopher, Tom, Gonzalo, Jeremy, Fahaz, Bilal, Reggie, and Yamaki for the support. Stay tuned for more videos. Thank you so much, and see you.